So if someone is raising their hand, then we might need within the under the participant button, you know, activate the speaking function for the person who's raised their hands. Augustine and Sanket. Okay.
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. While we are slowly filling up, I wanted to ask everyone to try out the chat function and just let us know from where you're currently dialing in, while we're still waiting for some more participants to join. If you have any troubles using the chat function, then please let us know. Otherwise, Sanket, where are you currently dialing in from? Stephen has a yes, Stephen, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I'm having a challenge with the chat function. I can't drop in the chat. I'm dialing from Nigeria.
Oh, good morning, Stephen. You have the little chat icon and you cannot access it, or you cannot type anything in it?
No, I can't type anything.
Okay.
It's disabled.
Let me fix that. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Augustine. Can you type something in the chat?
Let me check.
Yes, I can type. I'm currently typing myself.
Okay, because it says that everything is activated on my end. Yeah, okay. All right. So I think I cannot activated the chat without restarting the entire webinar. So yes, instead of using the chat, let's use the F&A button, which is working. Very sorry about that. Yes, we have 21 participants at the moment. Should we start with a first welcome already? Sanket. Okay, next slide, please, Augustine. Yes, good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to today's session. Sorry, I am Elizabeth Bieber, working for the Siemens Foundation based in Munich, Germany, and we are part of the Smart Energy Solutions for Africa Consortium, short SESA. I'm joined today by my colleague Sanket Puranik from Smart Innovation Norway, and together we have launched the second SESA call for entrepreneurs. And we will give you a brief information or a brief update on what we're looking for, what the project stands for, and some tips and tricks for the application. Yes, there will be a big part of the session today will be for your questions. So I'm very sorry that the chat function is not working, but feel free to use the F&A and we will try our best to answer. Also, there is an option of raising your hand and then just, asking your question directly if you want to. Yes, so SESA, as I said, next slide, please, stands for Smart Energy Solutions for Africa. It is a joint project between the European Union and 9 African countries, as you can see on the map. SESA has started in October 2021, so it's been going for over a year and a half already. And the aim of this rather huge project funded by the European Union is to provide energy access for all. This is really the key slogan where we're all working for, affordable and reliable access to energy, mostly for rural and peri-urban communities. And as such, what we are doing in this project is we want to test, validate, and then hopefully replicate promising business models and sustainable energy solutions across the African continent. So that's why we have chosen these 9 very diverse countries all over Africa to really see what works, what doesn't work, what learning can we generate, and what has really potential to work not only in Ghana, maybe in Morocco, but also in the context of Namibia or South Africa. So that's what the SESA project is all about. The SESA project is a 4-year project, so it will run until 2025. Next slide, please. And if you're wondering who is part of the SESA consortium, I've tried to copy you all of the logos. We are 30 consortium members, comprising organizations from both Europe and Africa, universities, think tanks, research institutes, industry, companies, entrepreneurs, as well as UN agencies, and of course ourselves as Siemens Stiftung and as Smart Innovation Norway. Next slide. Yes, so you might have heard already about the SESA call for entrepreneurs. You might have also read up on the website. I'm just briefly summarizing the main points. So the focus countries of this year's calls are Namibia, Nigeria, Rwanda, and Tanzania. The call has already been launched on 2nd of May and will be open until 25th of June, 11:59 p.m. CET, so until midnight Sunday. Then what we will offer selected companies will be service contracts, subcontracts, that will be signed with the Siemens Stiftung on behalf of the SESA project, between 50,000 to 100,000 euros per selected enterprise. As I already mentioned, SESA wants to test and validate promising business models as well as sustainable energy solutions in an African context. And what we've been testing over the last year and a half in the project were selected technologies such as solar irrigation, both mobile and fixed pumps, waste to energy solutions. We've also tested improved cook stoves and solar microgrids or containerized solar hubs. And now within these selected technologies, we are launching this next call to look for companies that show or that are working within these sectors and technology domains, and that could would be interested in joining SESA to explore the replication potential in Namibia, Nigeria, Rwanda, and Tanzania. So I've listed the technologies per country that we're focusing on. You can also find this on the website. What I mean by replication potential, to give you an example, for example, we are testing mobile pumps in the case of Kenya on Lake Victoria. We are validating fixed solar pumps in Malawi with rice farmers. And now, for example, in Nigeria, we're looking for companies that are within the solar irrigation or providing solar irrigation pumps to rural communities in Nigeria, and that want to use their 100,000 euros to further expand their business, to scale their business, to maybe expand to new customers, new markets, grow. And as such, then we would take the learnings that we have from Kenya and from Malawi, and then with the new company from Nigeria, and would look at that in terms of research and innovation potential, and bring all these learnings together as part of the SESA. So that's what meaning by replication. It's rather on a, I would say, learning level. Does not mean that you have to replicate the exact same technology. That's of course not the case. Yes, so next slide. Why should I apply, or why should you apply? As I said, we will make available between 50 to 100,000 euros per selected company. We are also offering you to join the SESA Incubator program, which is a customized incubation program. My colleague Sanket will tell you more about a bit later. That includes mentoring and training, technology support, regional mentoring, and yes, of course, there will be a great extent of visibility, working with 30 different consortium partners on different levels. We try to exploit the results and the learnings we have even after the project ends. So yes, of course, that would also be an opportunity for you to widen your network and be part of the Siemens Stiftung alumni network as well. Yes, next slide. Eligibility criteria include that you need to be registered in Namibia, Nigeria, Rwanda, Tanzania, and operationally active, and you should have been in operation for at least 3 years. That means that you should have also generated revenues over these 3 years with product services that you're offering. For our due diligence purposes, we would need to see your financial statements for the last 2 years, so 2022, 2021. There should be no pending litigation against your company or any members of the management team. In the application form, you have to show proof of previous similar work you've done. With similar work, I mean within that technology sector, within the areas, similar objectives in terms of energy access. And then, of course, your product and service should be within the country technology scope that I just mentioned. I've mentioned the 4 countries up there, which is these are our focus countries for this call. However, I would like to say that this does not preclude applications from other African countries, but they would, of course, be treated as a second priority once we have identified companies in the first 4 countries that I just mentioned. Yes, next slide. So the application process is straightforward. There's an application guidelines to be found on our website that details or outlines the eligibility criteria and the process in more further detail. Have a look if you fit the criteria, check all the required mandatory documents. That is an application form you can download from the website, the finances I just talked about, as well as the registration statement, and some product details, pictures of your products if you have. And then you can submit all of these documents in PDF or Word to the open call at siemens-stiftung.org email address. You should get an automatic response if your email has been received. And then if there's anything missing, or if anything could not be open, or there's wrong formats on any problems from our side, we will get back to you immediately and let you know, so that we can really receive a complete application. There's 3 things I would like to stress. So there can be only 1 proposal that can be accepted per SME. And consortium applications are eligible. However, we will only sign a contract with the lead agency. So within yourselves, you need to decide who wants to take the lead. The lead company will also be the ones where we will do the due diligence on. So that should then be the company that fulfills all the eligibility criteria I just talked about. The budgets that are part of the application form should be submitted in euro, and it should not exceed the overall amount of the 100,000 euro that we're offering. Applications that are for 300,000, 500,000 euros are not eligible and will not make it to the next step. Yes, next slide. So in terms of timeline and when to expect a response, the call is open until end of June. Then we do need a bit of a time to review all the applications. Then there will be interviews and pitch sessions planned for in August. And we hope that you will get a response on your application by September, October. We are looking to sign contracts, and then the SESA Incubator program will start next year in February. Yes, some tips from some lessons learned from the call last year. So we're asking in the application form, we're asking for financial information, and it would be great if this financial information would also match with your financial reports and statements that you're providing. The financial reports should include or must include an income statement, a cash flow, and a balance sheet. Doesn't have to be audited, but of course, if audited, that would be preferred as well. Yes, next slide. At the end of the application form, we're asking for an activity timeline that looks like this. So on the left column, you just in bullet points, rather vague, rather basic. You can outline the activities that you plan on doing, milestones if you do have them, if you plan on having them, and then on the right column, it shows from number 1 to number 15 the month of the contract length. And it would be great if for each activity you could just mark each month in the columns accordingly. And yes, so that we can get a feeling for which activity would be done when would you need which money, how does it align with the budgets, and what milestones are you proposing for your application. Yes, next slide. Then there's also a budget that needs to be filled in. As I already said, it should be filled in euro. It should not exceed the 100,000 euros. And if your company has a VAT exemption, then you do not need to add VAT. If you do not have a VAT exemption yet, then that total amount should also be including VAT, since the contract we're offering are a service agreements, and as does have to include VAT. As most countries probably have a VAT exemption, given that they are within the renewable energy domain, then that might not apply to you. Yes, thanks. Next slide. So if you're wondering what a service agreement really means, so since the SESA project is funded by the European Union, it's kind of a requirement from the budget and from the regulation side of things that we're doing subcontracts. So you will join SESA as some sort of subcontractor. It's mostly a formality. So you will receive a subcontract for up to 15 months, depending on your application and what you've set your milestones and deliverables would be. We would agree on that, and that would be put in the subcontract. Then, of course, you can participate in the SESA Incubator program, in the regional mentoring program, and the overall objective of the entire service agreement would be to test the replication potential of a selected technology in new markets and countries. So pretty much whatever you're proposing in your application, that will be the basis of the subcontract and nothing else. SESA is a research and innovation project, as I said. So our roles of the partners in country, for example, in the case of Rwanda, would be the University of Rwanda. These are all research and innovation partners that have the role of a local facilitator that will support you with community engagement and stakeholders in country. And that would also be the ones in charge of the data collection, any learnings, the reports that need to be written for SESA. So that will not be on you. Our role as Siemens Stiftung is to administer the subcontracts and the payments, and we will be in charge of anything that has to do with with the admin and the legal side. We will also offer regular check-in calls. We will do local monitoring visits, and we will support you in any way possible, and then offer you, of course, to always stay a member of the Siemens Stiftung network even after your contract ends and even after the SESA project ends. So always happy to have you as an alumni and yeah, part of our network. Next slide. Yes, and I'm happy to hand over to Sanket to tell you a little bit more about the SESA Incubator program, which is something we offer in addition to the contract itself. Sanket, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And meanwhile, I am talking about Incubator program. Maybe you can have a look at few of the open Q&As, which I was answering, but I will now continue with explaining Incubator program. So the companies who will be selected in the Incubator program, or the companies who will be offered financial support, will be also offered a place in the Incubator program, and we offer two types of Incubator programs. So one is the 6 weeks foundational program, where we will meet each and every incubated company in a hybrid format, both online and sometimes on individual mentoring sessions, where we will go through different topics regarding how the SMEs can grow and build their business going forward. So there are a few topics which we have in mind, and of course, with the selected participants, we will also fine tune what would be the right target area to talk about and have session on. The time commitment here would be for 6 hours per week. So there would be 2 to 3 weeks of session or a seminar targeting one specific topic about business development, business growth, and then there would be some homework in order to work on specific issues which the company will have. So the mentors will be working on specific topic and an issue connected with that topic of a company, and then together they will be trying to solve those issues during the 6 weeks. So each week we will pick up different topics and try to address how to overcome challenges associated with those topics for individual companies. Then that is for 6 weeks, and it is mostly on, as the name says, on the foundational basis, covering the basics. But then we have a long-term and tailor-made customized incubator program, which can be anywhere from 6 to 15 months. Again, this can be decided by the company. How long do they need mentorship services? So each incubatee or the SME selected in the incubator would be given a regional mentor, meaning a mentor, a business expert located in your respective country, and then a mentor from Smart Innovation Norway. So we have our in-house mentors, so they will be guiding you throughout. Together with that, you will be assigned a local regional mentor, which we will recruit once the company is on board, and together with what type of expertise the company needs, we will hire a mentor accordingly, which is regional mentor. So the mentor again will be the regional mentor, again will be hired based upon the need of the selected company. And this would be experience-led workshops. So together with the mentors, we will draft out a plan for the company, where the company is now and what it wants to achieve in next 6 to 15 months in terms of their business goals. And together with the mentors, we will help companies achieve those goals in the assigned period. Next slide, please. Yes, thank you. So here is some examples of what are the services which can be offered. So there are two parts. One is the business support, which involves mentoring and series of workshops on specific issues and challenges. And then another part is mediation, which is mainly focusing on capacity building and helping the companies building network across Africa and across Europe, where different partners are from in the SESA consortium. So in the business support, the mentoring will be focusing on different areas like training in the area of market analysis, trying to find product market fit, pricing, what should be the pitching strategy, looking into business development advice. Some other services would be in the area of general business development, like accounting, legal matters, financial assistance. So this is just a brief idea, a flavor of what are different support which will be offered by the mentor. But again, you don't need, the company might not need everything, or company might need something, 2 or 3 things in particular. So the whole program will be customized as per the need of the company, and we will provide support to meet your goals. Next. slide, please. Yes. So this is just to summarize what can be expected from the services offered. So there are 4 areas or 4 main topics, you can say, where we will be offering services. One is in the area of business planning and monitoring, helping SMEs to better plan their business strategies and growth, and also monitor their development. Second is on the organizational level, how to develop the organization, build up an organization as you're building up the business, and how to have financial transparency in reporting different financial matters. Third is marketing and sales, how to strategize your marketing goals and sales strategies. Then fourth is helping the companies in raising the funds, be it for the local funds from your individual company or funding from different investment platforms, which could be also in Europe or other part of the world. But our main goal is to support you identifying, targeting different fundraising opportunities and options, and we might also help you in creating applications for that. And along with that, we have experts, both business and technical experts in the SESA consortium. If the companies need some technical advisory or specific business modeling advisory from the SESA consortium, that will be offered on that ad hoc basis from the SESA consortium. And SESA, as Elizabeth mentioned, involves partners across different countries, both in Africa and Europe. So you will also get access to their broad networks in order to find right partners, right collaborations going forward. And as I mentioned previously, when this is an example, yeah, it's okay. Go to the next slide. Yes, so here is the picture from last week where the mentors from Smart Innovation Norway met the Living Lab, which are part of the SESA project, and the incubator companies of the previous year's or this year's call. And here they're having some mentoring session, and this was the first opportunity where mentors met face to face. And this is just a glimpse of what joint sessions would look like, and there would be a lot of opportunities exchanging ideas between other SMEs and all Living Labs, which are part of the SESA under the peer-to-peer exchange program, which we have in the project. Thank you. And Elizabeth, back to you.
Yes, thank you very much. There have already been a couple of questions popping up in the Q&A section. I would like to answer to Mohammed straight away. Yes, there is a reporting required. So the sub or service contracts that I mentioned, they do the deliverables that need to be fulfilled would be a midterm report and a final report. So these are the 2 deliverables that you would need to write in the time frame of the project or of the subcontract. The templates are rather straightforward. It is very much focusing on learnings. What have you done? Has anything changed from your business? Are you testing anything? Have you expanded to a new country? Have you tried out something new? What's the feedback from the customers? So rather straightforward, focus very much on learnings. Does this work in a new context? Have you tried to replicate something that has already been working in your business and you've now tried it somewhere else? Or, what's your plans for scaling? And what has been happening over the period of the contract. So yeah, I hope that answers your questions, but it's really, the template is 4 to 6 pages, and we don't want to overburden you since we know how busy the everyday life is of an entrepreneur. So we try to be rather pragmatic about that.
And another question from Rene that was regarding the consortium. So we are not expecting the consortium to apply. We are supporting individual businesses. So we prefer a business applying for the support through our call, and then the business, what is expected that is the business replicates and grows their solution as they develop their business through this call. And of course, consortium can also apply, but it's not a limitation that if you apply together with your partners, that is well accepted. It's just that the priority will be given to those consortiums which are, first of all, fully in Africa in the targeted countries. And then the second priority would be of the consortium which are of the mixed nature.
Yes, and there can only be one lead. So the the assessment will be on the lead person, or at least lead partner applying in the consortium. Yes. Another question regarding how many enterprises selected for each country. So at the moment, we're looking at about 2 per country. Also depending on how many high quality proposals we are getting. And there's another question regarding the consortium. Yes, so since part of the due diligence is looking at finances and looking at revenue streams and looking at the business model, we highly recommend that if you form a consortium, that the lead is a for-profit that actually can provide all these kind of documents and has a business model and incoming revenues. If you then partner up with a non-profit as a partner that you are outsourcing certain tasks, that is of course fine. But that also needs to be really clear in the proposal and from the budget side, if that answers your question, James. Since the Incubator program that we are also offering, as Sanket just mentioned, will be focusing mostly on business models and business development. So then it makes sense that this would be offered to the lead also, only to the lead of the consortium that we're having a subcontract with. That you should also be aware of that when you start thinking about a consortium.
And we also will be looking in the nature of the consortium. Is it like one-off consortium which is coming together only for this project? We would prefer a consortium which is long-lasting, because in the end we want to scale the implementation of the solutions which we will be supporting. So we will also look into this criteria. So if it is one of your partners with whom you have a long-term goals, then it will be evaluated higher than with those partners which are coming for the first time together just for targeting these funds.
Any more questions? There was a question what we're focusing on in terms of assessment, if it's more the technology side of things or if it's more the business model side of things. So maybe that would be of interest to everyone as well. So the evaluation criteria and the way we are assessing it very much focus on the business model, the revenue model you have, your customer groups, and the impact that you have. So what's the social, economic, and what's the environmental impact? Maybe you have a circular economy strategy, or maybe you're like into recycling, or thinking about any kind of negative risks, strategies, mitigation strategies that you have in place. We are also, of course, looking at what you're proposing in terms of replication. Does that fit the SESA project? And technology-wise, we're looking more into the innovation potential of the technology, but always in the context of rural communities, off-grid communities that have, if you remember, the overall slogan is really energy access for all. So that's where we focus on. Yes,
Elizabeth, there are a few
questions.
questions about registration. Yes,
yeah.
When of the company. Will you take the first one regarding Tanzania?
Yes. Yes, I think name changes happen all the time. So if you provide, us with all the details and the changes in the documents, then that is fine. And yes, the 3 years could be August to August. Yes, of course, that would still be eligible, Anya. That's for Tanzania. 3 years operational, so that would mean if you count 2023, 2022, 2021. So yeah, regarding the question of Renee, so 2022 of course, that would be more than 3 years. It really also depends. I mean, could be a company that's just barely been registered for 3 years, but have been from the first day really in the market with their product. Could also be companies that have been registered 15 years ago, but have spent 10 or 12 years on R&D. So, you know, with the 3 years operational, we just want to make sure that you have had products and customers, and if you had your experience and you've been in the market, and you know your financial statements do show some sort of revenue. Regarding the question if the applicant should already be operating in the energy industry, or if you can be operating in a different industry and then you want to implement the project with a new product or a new service, I would say it very much depends on your track record. So does the product fit with all the other products you have, or is it like a totally odd one out? And then we would question why you chose to diversify your product portfolio like this, and what are the reasons. So we would have to look at it case by case, but it should kind of fit. Sorry, Sanket, please take it. Yeah.
I was just saying, that I mean, we will also look into the maturity of product or solution. So, I mean, we are targeting those solutions which are already sort of mature. So if your company is already there in a different domain, but has a solution which is mature and which you think fits in the energy side as well, so why not? But then, as Elizabeth mentioned, we have to take case by case.
Rural is not a hard criteria, otherwise it would be in the eligibility criteria. If you can show that there are communities in the urban peri-urban market that have a lack of access or certain vulnerabilities, and you know your product can really offer an improvement in their living situations, then yes, that of course is fine as well. But we're not targeting very well off middle class communities with very expensive products. So that's not what we're supporting. There should be some sort of social impact. Did you just respond to the cold storage? Yeah.
Yes, I just did.
That's
yeah.
Yes.
So if you want to try a new business model, perfectly fine, and this is very well welcomed to implement. Yes.
Yeah, and we very much encourage agri businesses with the solar cooling component. That's very much what we're looking for. So would be very much looking forward to your application. Yes, to the merging question. So if the organization you merged with that has been operational since 2020 would apply, then we would take that organization's finances and registration certificates, and then please do apply with that name. Someone wrote about cold chain, but it is not included in expected solutions from my country. Could you maybe let us know what country you're applying from, where it's not included? Would it be Rwanda? I think in Rwanda we don't have solar cooling.
I think solar cooling we only have in Tanzania.
The country is Nigeria. I don't know, Sanket. What's your answer there towards this cold chain in Nigeria?
I'm just thinking out loud here now, because is it only cold chain or solar cold chain? So if it is solar cold chain, then we could consider, but if it is just cold chain, which is grid connected, then it would be difficult. Do we have? Yeah, are you looking into solar cold chain in Nigeria, or it is just cold chain?
We have a hands up, Olazupo. If I pronounce your name not correctly, please, I apologize. You should be able to. It's not working. Can someone else give him the alarm to talk? Otherwise, feel free to post. Yes, it's working. It's not working on my end.
But yeah, I saw that someone responded that it is a solar cold chain. I think we should still consider it.
Yes. So please, or get back to us via email. We can feel free
If you
to.
can share with us some information about your solution, then we will be able to give you more specific answer to that.
Yeah, I'm very
So
sorry.
before applying, just write us an email.
Yeah. Then there was another question about an NGO in Namibia, clean energy and circular economy. Yes, of course. So what you are very much welcome to partner with a company and submit a consortium application. If you are a hybrid NGO that is also generating revenues, and you are somewhere between social business and non-profit, then of course feel free to also apply. But the business side of things is important, and it's also important to show in the application form how you plan on continuing that the activities after the SESA project and after the money finishes, and like what sustainable business model do you really plan on implementing that will continue after the project ends. This is very, very important to us. We do not want another NGO project that's just funded for 15 months and then it ends. We do want to support a business component in Namibia as well, since the two focus regions in Namibia are rather very remote, rather unique communities. We are also welcoming feasibility studies for that. So feasibility studies of certain technologies or approaches that that a business wants to test in these rather remote communities. As I said, also for the CSO question with the SDG-based objectives, it very much should be a business. So we are looking into finances, and we will ask you a lot of business questions. We will ask you about your market, your niche. We will ask you customers questions. We will see what strategy you have in generating revenues, what growth strategy you have, how your cash flow looks like. So it is very much a business, a call for entrepreneurs. So if that does not fit with your CSO or your nonprofit, then this call might not be for you, or then maybe a consortium application is the way to go. Regarding the IP managed, so the IPs, of course, for your product and service will always stay with you. There's no question asked. The ownership will be with you, and the data collected for the project will be agreed upon with the university partner in country. It could be, for example, them asking you for certain, in the case of Rwanda, I'm just brainstorming now, could be about the performance of second life EV batteries, meaning that we would ask you to maybe put a special meter on that and just check the data on the batteries and collect that data. Or it would be some sort of life cycle assessment. Let's say you have a solar irrigation pump, then the SESA partner could do a life cycle assessment of that solar pump and calculate the CO2 emission reduction potential of that pump. So it would be very much a research around the products, and you're free to use that data, of course, for your purposes, but we are very much trying to protect your business and your interests and your IP and patents, of course.
And yes, if the company has any issues on how to protect their IP, the mentors would be very happy to also support you there if needed. Then we have a question from Johanna. We create ventures from all the projects we implement. I'm not sure what the context of this is.
I think it was the previous question regarding Namibia.
Okay.
With the thing, yeah, but I think, you know, we can also have one-on-one. If you drop me or drop us an, pardon me, if you drop us an email, then we will get back to you and can also bilaterally discuss further whether it makes sense and yeah, if there's any more SESA related questions. Okay. Any more questions? Please feel free. And I would just drop a very quick survey asking you, you know, whether you whether this was helpful or whether you're really thinking of applying or whether you think it's not such a good fit after what you've just heard the last 45 minutes. So thank you very much for participating, and yeah, please, if you can read the chat, I'm putting the email address in there. Once again, following the meeting, we will send you all the PowerPoint, and then feel free to reach out. There's still 6 weeks left to apply, so plenty of time to discuss further, and also maybe discuss together with the partners in country. And then we very much look forward to all your applications and yes, to scaling energy access across countries, and maybe you know, support some companies in their scaling phase. That would be very exciting for us. Sanket, any more? There's some more questions. No, thank you. Yes, sorry, I was very excited to get more questions. Sanket, any final words from your side, or any tips, last words?
Last word would be, yeah, be as early as possible, and then that will also give us time to review your application earlier. And if we want some more clarification, then we have time to get back to you and ask for more information. So the earlier you apply, the better it is for also from our side to support you. And of course, feel free to ask us any queries you might have regarding the application. But I think it's we are very much eager and excited to work with you. So please do apply for this call, and we will be happy to answer your any queries going forward from here.
So there are no more questions, nothing left unclear. Anything to clarify? Yes.
Someone raised hand. Yes.
Rona Safari she raised her hand. So you can unmute yourself if you want. Yes. Hi.
Hello everybody. I just want to find out, how do I get the you said on the website, or do we need to provide our emails to get the recording and for further questions?
No, I will you registered for the webinar, so I will send it out via the Zoom webinar mailing list.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Anyone else? Feel free. Any last questions?
Sorry, can I just ask one more question?
Of
So
course.
you said, so if the company is registered maybe 10 years, does it qualify that it has been, it has only to provide the financial statement for the last 3 years, and that the financial statement must make some profit?
I didn't say make profit. I said revenues. So you know, it's fine if you're not in the you know, not making a lot of profits, or
yeah, but
even
because
on the point even. but yeah, even if you're in business for 10 years, we would like to look at the last 2 years. And then if there's any further questions or things we want to clarify, then we will get back to you and maybe, ask for more information.
Yeah, I understand, because for the past some years, COVID has hit hard, and yeah,
I understand.
profit was an issue. Okay, nice, fine. Thank you so much.
That's true. Then, maybe you can also send a pre-COVID financial statement if that was so much better. There's another question, Vamola.
Yes, hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Yes, I'm Omol. I'm calling from Tanzania. So I just want to ask a question. So like agribusiness company, and then I want to work in consortium with another company. Maybe the company will be providing support in terms of cold storage. So maybe it will be the two companies. My company is agribusiness company, but maybe I need to have like a mechanism to improve storage. Then I need maybe to partner with a company which will deliver the solar powered cold storage. Is that the criteria that fit for application in this call?
Yes, of course it is. If that the partner where you're buying the cold storage from is just a supplier where you get your products from, then you do not need to mention them in the consortium application. You can still apply with your company, with your business idea, with a new product that you want to test. Then you will get money from us to buy that product, and then you buy that product from whatever supplier you deem fit. Yeah, that is then up to you. That does not need to be specified in the application right now.
Okay.
A consortium only makes sense if both partners are bringing certain things to the table, but only because it's a supplier that is.
Okay.
So where you're buying the cold
so
storage
because is a supplier, then
then you don't not. Then I think it's fine if you just apply and you say you have this new product that you would like to test out. And then you maybe give some product specifications, what you're looking at or what product you might like. But then, of course, once you have the money and once you buy the materials or the cold storage, what cold storage room or what you buy is totally up to you and your business and what makes sense to you. Yeah.
Okay.
And one thing I would like to just emphasize here that you don't need to first partner for this thing. Especially in case of supplying. So another thing, we don't want to know who your supplier is in the application, but we want to know the cost. So when you do the budgeting, you have to mention that you're going to procure this product and the cost of this product is this much. So this has to be included in the budget, but we don't want to know like which company you are procuring from.
All right, thank you. You have answered my question.
You're welcome. Looking forward to your application.
All right.
Yeah. All right, any last questions? No. Okay. So maybe one last sentence from my side to clarify. The budget that you're submitting, the cost categories that you put in is totally up to you. So there's no requirements there. There's no rules and regulations there. Since it is a service agreement, it is very free how you spend the money and what money you need for that replication is totally up to you. How much you want to buy, if it's 80% material cost, that is also fine from us. So there's no requirements and no specifications on the budget side on what you propose and how you spend the money. And as we just said, Sanket and myself, the suppliers that you want to choose or the contract partners that you then need once you've received the money from us, that is also totally up to use as an entrepreneur and how you run your business. We are not meddling in there. We just want to see want to really get a feeling of what are you suggesting, what's the replication that you want to do within these
and how it's going to help your business.
Exactly.
So we will
How
evaluate
does
from the
support you in growing, because that's actually what we want to achieve. And then, you know, after the 15 months, as Sanket said, there will be peer-to-peer exchanges, there's mentoring. We're trying to get investor roundtables. So we really want to, you know, after these 15 months, whatever learnings we have, whatever data we collected, how many CO2 emission reductions you might have had with your new products, we want to use this then to help you pitch your company further. And, you know, that's really what we're here for.
And since Elizabeth,
there's-
you mentioned
yes.
about KPIs, one final comment from my side would be like, be to all the applicants, that be very clear about what KPIs or the performance indicator you are targeting to achieve through your business, and also be very clear about how we are going to use the money. We don't want, I mean, it is completely free how you want to do it, but it has to be clearly mentioned in the proposal how you're going to use the budget and what is the impact you aim to bring through your business. And more quantified impact it is, the better the chances.
And there's a last question: if you need to provide spendings, bills, receipts, etc. And I just want to say, no, it's a service agreement. It's not a project contract. It's not a donor contract. It's a service agreement. So as long as you fulfill the milestones and the things that you said in this application, and you write these 2 reports on the learnings that I mentioned as well. We do not, how you spend the money and how you fulfill these deliverables is entirely up to you. We will not ask for receipts, and we will also not check the bills or anything else. There's no financial reporting for service agreements. Okay. Perfect. Very important points last. So thanks for sticking with us. Yes, thank you very much for your time and your interest in our call. And if there's questions, please reach out to both of us. And yes, good luck with the application, and maybe we'll talk to some of you soon. Okay.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.